Hey folks, I'm Spencer, and on today's episode of Cult Mania, we're looking at the new double feature of Demons, Demons 1 and 2, in 4K this time.
Demons.
Now, the Demons film series, or Demoni if you're Italian, come to us from Lamberto Bava, the son of the Italian horror legend Mario Bava, and that ought to be enough, really, to make you go, "Ooh, I'm interested." But if that isn't, then the fact that these were written and produced by Dario Argento will probably make your ears prick up a little bit more. They're more like a sort of hybrid of action and horror. You know, lots of gore, lots of special effects, lots of people hitting things. More like a sort of, in the way zombie films are often sort of a hybrid of the two.
Yes, the demons are coming, and they're coming for you.
Now, Demons 1 takes place in the Metropole movie theatre. A bunch of random people have been given a ticket to go and see a random movie. They have no idea what they're going to see. What it turns out is it's a movie about demons. And it doesn't take very long until the demons that are on the screen start coming out into the movie theatre and start ripping people apart. Now, Demons 2 transplants that same premise into an apartment block. This time there is a sequel to the movie from the first movie, which is being played on TV, and then a demon, literally in this one, crawls out of the TV, starts infecting people, and once again there are lots and lots of demons running about trying to kill people. I have no idea whether Demons 2 is supposed to be taking place after Demons 1, at the same time as, because the timeline doesn't really seem to match up at all. It's very peculiar. It's not really a problem though. It's not really a problem because it is worth noting that the storytelling, the acting in these films is pretty dire. Do not think that because Dario Argento wrote these that there are any big plot twists or anything of that kind. These are very straight people trying to survive in a building with nasty things movies. That's what they are. And I would say it's a stretch to say that any actor within these films resembles anything, you know, their actions resemble anything close to what a human being would do, because they don't. You know, people are incredibly caricatured. Most people are the hunky guy, the angry old man, you know what I'm trying to get at. That's not to say that, the performances aren't entertaining. They very much are. Especially because, this is an Italian film. There is just fantastic dubbing, awfully fantastic dubbing. Everyone in this gives us a really over-the-top performance, especially if you watch it in the English dub. That's what I would recommend it in. If you speak English, watch it in the English dub. You won't lose anything. It'll probably gain something because it's quite funny. Most of the characters in this are just, like I said, dumb caricatures, but every now and again there is a character that will come along that you'll be like, actually, you're really fun. Notably, Bobby Rhodes plays Tony the Pimp in the first film, and he's possibly the greatest side character in anything ever because he's so over the top and so macho. It's hilarious, it's brilliant. They knew it was brilliant because he comes back in the second one as a completely different character, except he's not a completely different character. It's the exact same performance, just with a different name, and it's brilliant. There's only like 2 actors that come back from the first one to the second one, and he's one of them, and it's great. Also, if you are an Argento fan, you will probably get a kick out of seeing Fiora Argento, his first child, and Asia Argento, his second child, in both movies. I think Demons 2 is Asia's first film, so if you are a fan of hers, it's worth checking out just for that, to be honest.
It is for a movie that goes beyond temporary fear to everlasting terror. It is a movie called Demons.
Now, whilst, they're not particularly adventurous in their scripting, they are much more competent in their cinematography. Both films. They're not the most technically adventurous. There's nothing that's going to perhaps blow your mind, but they know how to create a really striking image. There are these shots where the demons are running up the stairs in the metropole with all this fog, and they're backlit and they've got glowy eyes and it's in slow motion, and those sorts of scenes are really awesome. There's a bit where someone's trapped behind a movie screen that works. You could almost imagine that in a sort of giallo picture. So they have got that class. There, especially in Demons 1, there is some sort of stereotypical Bava-esque, Argento-esque lighting, this very striking blues and oranges that do lend it a sort of comic book feel, and I think that really suits the tone of the films. Demons 2 has some great moments as well. They use the big spirally staircase in something that's very reminiscent of how they used it in Wreck. There's lots of bits where the glowy eyes are looking down over the banisters. They bloody love doing shots of people indoors being backlit with these long shadows. There are loads of points where different characters do it. I was first time it came up, I was oh, that's the poster image, and then it kept happening. And I think it was about the middle time I saw it was the actual poster image. So they just love doing that. But no, they're very striking films. I think the second one sort of a bit less so, but I think that's the crampedness of being set in an apartment building. Just doesn't give the camera the same amount of room to do interesting things. Something fell over. But everyone's really watching this for the effects, aren't they? And they're really good. They're very squelchy, plasticky effects. The demons, when you become a demon, they aren't the most strikingly different. Everyone just gets manky skin, scary eyes. But they get a lot of body horror type stuff out of the transformations because people's teeth change. They become like sharp teeth, and you get lots of shots of teeth being pushed out, fingers split open so that claws can come through. Those are sort of quite actually squirm-inducing because they're practical and they work really well. But the films are full of big clawed gashes. I'm sure there's some decapitations. There's some big pussy bobbly things that are horrible. The best thing about it is, well, I say best, there is no rule. There is no rule on what a demon can or can't do. So there are plenty of points in both films where you go, hang on, no demon has done that in the film before. But it kind of works because it just keeps you on your toes, and it means that my wife described the film as the first film, as being written by 4 13-year-old boys, and it is, because they just throw everything at the screen. The main thing here is that it's got names attached to it, especially, this is Argento at the sort of height of his power, so the film's got a lot more budget than I think a lot of similar films would, and they do spend it. It clearly shows on screen. I think perhaps the second one a little bit less. Again, I think they've probably used the same budget, but they've tried to make the film bigger, so in some ways it kind of feels a bit smaller. But, there are still some fantastic effects. There are still some moments where you'll go, wait, what? In the best possible way. I can kind of get that it might irritate some people that there is no logic in these films, but if you want dumb, gory, splattery stuff, there's buckets of it in both films. One of the other really great things about the films are their soundtracks. Demons 1 has a soundtrack by Claudio Simonetti out of Goblin. He said that he wanted to bring a very dancey element to it, and I think that is very much there. It's very sort of beat-driven. It's still, a lot of synthesizers. There's a lot of guitars going on, some cool guitar solo type stuff going on. But overall, the main thing that you get out of it is it's really, really propulsive. It goes for it. And this is mixed in with pop scoring, you get a lot of metal, like Saxon, Billy Idol, so sort of rock metal. There are a couple of more poppy songs in it, which are a bit strange. They do feel a little out of place, but it's a really effective score. And I think Argento was playing around with this stuff. Phenomena has Motorhead in it, I think. So it was very much what they were doing at the time. But it makes the soundtrack quite distinctive, and I think Simonetti's stuff is some of the best stuff he did, really. For the sequel, they kept the pop score sort of style, but they moved into a more new wave goth style. There's, Fields of the Nephilim, Pete Murphy, The Smiths. And it still really works, I think, because you sort of with these, there's like a party going on, so that the music is being played at the party. There's the Cult as well, which is used over the ending credits to make them super cheesy. All that stuff works really well. The score has been sort of reworked to be more in line with that sort of gothic style. It's done by Simon Boswell this time, so it's got a slightly more UK feel to go along with all those UK new wave bands. It's got this sort of power goth sort of style, sort of, I don't know, like Floodlands by Sisters of Mercy, that sort of thing, like big drums, big sort of operatic feel to it, and it works really well again. It's probably not as catchy as some of the stuff in the first one, like there's a bit from the first film that gets stuck in my head all the time, but no, both have really, really good scores, and the pop score stuff works incredibly well.
Demons, with music by Billy Idol, Motley Crue, The Adventures, Rick Springfield, and Saxon.
It is just a bit of a shame that it's a bit of a running theme that the second one isn't as good. It does. I think it's that it tries to match the first one, but it tries to be bigger without actually sort of upping anything. It sort of less was more because it was focused. The plot's a bit stretched thin because people are in different parts of the apartment block. You don't get quite as a lot of the deaths happen off screen because there's just more of them, so they feel less impactful. But that being said, both films are a lot of fun, and I think if you go into the second one expecting it not to be as good as the first one, you'll still really enjoy it. I think it's just the first one is so good that you kind of want the second one to be a step up, and it just isn't. But I mean, they're still really fun. Now, the new release. Is it worth having compared to the older ones? I would definitely say yes. They are a big improvement in quality. I bought the 4K version. I will say I don't think you need to. These aren't films that are going to, they're not the most stunning films of all time. I bought them on 4K because, especially Demons 1, is just one of my favourite films, and I was like, I want it in the best quality. But I would say, even if you weren't watching them in 4K, the new restorations are a step above the old ones that are in the tin behind me. I was going to point at them, but I'll do it backwards. The colour recreation is so much better. It is a lot sharper. I noticed things, especially in the first one, which I've seen many times, that I hadn't noticed before. One of which was a sort of key thing to do with the plot, which is either that I'm thick or that, the step up in quality really is that big. They are really nice. I think the packaging sort of suits the films a lot better than the sort of very metal-looking covers on the Steelbook. I do like that, they come in funky, like, pull-apart packaging. Got your films, got poster. I'm not going to open that because it's just the covers. You get your little ticket. And you get a book with lots of essays and stuff. There's a lot of bonus. I think every bonus feature that was on the old version is on here. There's some new stuff as well. So it does feel like a step up. It is worth going back in and buying them again if these are films that you like, or get hold of these because I don't even know how easy the old versions are to get hold of. They are a step up. I did notice in Demons 2 there is a bit of an issue with two shots where the frame is juttering up and down like this. That is clearly an issue with the negative because I put that old Blu-ray in and it's on there as well. So it's clear it's not a problem with the new transfer, it's just inherent in the film. But no, these really nice transfers. I'd say if these are films you love and you have a 4K player, it's probably worth upgrading because you've sort of future-proofed it. If not, I'd say stick with the HD just because I don't think you really need these films in 4K.
This is no dream. This is happening right now.
But I would definitely recommend getting hold of them. They are some of the most fun horror movies of this era. I think they're this sort of perfect balance of being sort of like a George Romero zombie movie, but with a faster pace, and then more with like a sort of fun, let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks element of something like Evil Dead. It's sort of the perfect middle point of those, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, really. You know, they are, especially the first one, is a real classic in my mind, and I don't think it perhaps gets treated as such. It's just really fun. It's like one of those, I could watch it any day. It's the perfect thing if you're like having a bit of a rubbish day, you're not feeling great, stick Demons on, just have a laugh. Or if you know, if you've got friends round, you can put Demons on, have some crisps, have a beer, and just enjoy it and have a laugh with them while it's on. It's that perfect sort of just fun popcorn horror. And, you know, yes, the second one isn't quite as good, but it's still really entertaining. And, you know, they're always bundled together, so basically, track it down. Get hold of a version of Demons because it's great. It's on the Arrow channel now as well. And you'll be getting the bonus of having the second one as well. So, yeah. If you like gory, splattery, dumb, fun horror movies, these should definitely be in your collection. But that is just my opinion. Are you a fan of Demons? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. And I shall see you next time.